So we're wrapping up week 5. Is it still feeling like the beginning of the year to you? To me, it feels like it's moving much faster than that. Now, I don't want to rush it, but man, I don't want to get left behind either. I'm Marty, and you found warehouse and operations as a career again. Earlier this week, we had some technical opportunities with our website, and I couldn't post the episode to the many different social media groups that I usually do, and I was shocked at how many people were listening through those links, and they did not hesitate to let me know that I hadn't posted them. I wanted to share that the best way to avoid the occasional glitch is to subscribe to the show. Now, however you listen to your favorite podcast, we'll be there. Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, iHeart or TuneIn Radio, or any of the podcatchers that you'll run across out there. And in a pinch, shoot me an email to host@warehouseandoperationsasacareer.com, and I'll be sure to get a link to you. Okay, looking at my notes here, let me answer this question real quick. I'd kind of forgotten about it, and my apologies to this listener. She has written in twice regarding what everyone thought about a driving position. I told her that we'd try and talk a little to the subject today, so let's take a minute and put ourselves behind the wheel. Transportation, without a doubt, is a popping field right now, and it has been for the last 10 years, and it's going to be for the next 20 years. Drivers are and will be in demand for quite a while. There is a lot of money to be made, if you're cut out for it. On our February 23rd show, I think it was 2017. Our 22nd episode was titled Driving, Transportation, and Logistics Opportunities. And we had the opportunity to speak with an over-the-road driver about how she got started into the field, what she liked about it, and why she felt like it was her new career. I really enjoyed visiting with her, and I think that would be a great episode for you to revisit. Now, most of you have heard me say before to look around the room that you're in right now. Almost everything that you're looking at has been in a warehouse and on a truck at least at some point. If a friend or a relative didn't make it, it was produced with manufactured products and distributed through a warehouse and delivered by either ship, air, rail, or on a truck. Yes, drivers are needed, and they are needed badly. So let's talk about becoming a driver. You're going to need to know how to operate a tractor trailer first, right? Your top 3 choices could be to, number 1, pay for a driving school. And that's a great shortcut. You'll get some great instruction, time behind the wheel, and probably a job offer could come along with your graduation. Let's talk about that job offer here in just a couple of minutes. We'll move on to number 2. And there are several good transportation companies that offer paid training. You sign on as an employee or an independent driver, and they train you to operate the big rigs. A job's going to come along with it. Kind of a win-win, right? Well, let's talk about that job in a few minutes. And then number 3, if you're a long-time listener, you know how I feel about experiences. Many companies have driver training programs for their employees. I've known many warehousemen that have transitioned over to their transportation departments and become local route drivers for their employers. Okay, so let's go back to option number 1 and number 2 in those jobs that I spoke of. They are probably going to be the over-the-road offers. They are willing to train you, help you get your license, and you'll sign on to drive for them for a contracted time frame. Now, these aren't bad deals. Number 1 is great if you have the money to pay for the training, and upon graduation, it's a pretty good bet that they will help you find an outfit to drive for. Same for number 2. They'll teach you to become an operator, give you plenty of on-the-road or on-the-job training, and put you on the road hauling freight for them. Both are great opportunities, and you'll be a big rig operator. The downside? It's just not for everybody. Very few new drivers are local drivers, and even fewer are delivery or route drivers for distribution companies. Being an over-the-road driver, in my book, is definitely one of the top 3 essential jobs in the world. Everything is delivered by truck. There is a huge shortage of drivers, and there is a lot of money to be made as a driver. But it's rough, too. Picture being home maybe 1 week a month, or even less. It's great for that individual that loves driving, enjoys being alone, and doesn't have any family ties that want him or her to be home more. So let's talk about the third option for a minute. It's not that it's my favorite. Well, it is my favorite, but only because of the way that we learn to be that operator. As I mentioned, many distribution centers will have driver training programs. These are for those employees that may be working in another department and they want to be drivers. I have actually helped people that knew they wanted to be drivers but had no intention of going out over the road become delivery drivers. A few of them I suggested that they accept sanitation positions or warehouse general labor jobs, even positions as order selectors with a targeted employer, one that offered excellent driver training programs. We can do a great job in their task for, say 6 months, and then start talking about their desire and goal to become a driver. Every company needs drivers. Now, yes, that's kind of a long play, but think about it. I'm talking about staying in your position, that you're getting paid for 6 months, and then starting to talk about your plans with your management teams. Usually, 12 to 18 months later, you can be a local delivery driver and be home every night. With option 1 and 2, you're going to have to put in at least 24 to 36 months and a lot of miles under your belt before any DC is going to put you behind their $150,000 rig and let you carry 25 of their customers' freight and merchandise around the city's streets, alleys, and crowded parking lots. Experience is where that trust comes from, my friends. Now, I believe driving is a great job, and all 3 of the options we just talked about offer fantastic opportunities. Each is right for some of us. I only suggest knowing what we want to get into and then know what we're getting into. Check out your different YouTube channels. There are thousands of drivers that have channels, and they share their trips and adventures pretty openly. You can get an honest representation of the job from any number of them. I'd list a few of my favorites, but then I'd hear from those that I left off. So I'll just encourage you to go pull some up. Alright, I spent more time on that than I meant to, but I want to throw out an important tidbit about our industry that I've been reminded about several times already this year. I ran across a gentleman that was my lead man back in 1990. He now runs a national outfit that I want to do business with. A week later, I ran across my old executive vice president, who is now president at another company, again, that I'm doing business with. And just this Tuesday, I heard from one of my old selectors. Gosh, I guess he worked for me back in 2009 and 2010. Now he is running the transportation division for another business that I'm wanting to work with. Throughout your career within this industry, you will keep running into people that you have worked with. We did an episode on burning bridges back in 2019. I believe it was on November 28th. I don't know what episode it was, but you should check it out. This year, I have already ran across like 5 or 6 individuals that have been able to help me out, and I feel like I've been able to help out 2 or 3 more. We all have plans and goals, and we're journaling, right? Let's all remember, what goes around comes around in this profession. It's so important to be respectful and professional in all that we do. It's hard at times, but ladies and gentlemen, we're in this for the long haul. Let's always be the best that we can be. Well, thanks for checking in with us this week, and I hope to see you again next Thursday. Until then, pat a peer on the back and thank them for being on your team. Share a safety thought with them. Let them know that you want them around for a long time.